Hello and welcome to the first of our Discover Christchurch video tours, during which we'll explore this magnificent Grade 2 star listed building, its hidden treasures, and the works needed to restore it to its former glory. We're very grateful to our generous funders who have made this project possible. Today we're going to meet two key members of the project team who will take us on a tour of the tower. Hello, my name is Gillian Ellis King and I'm behind the camera. I'm the Discover Christchurch project coordinator, and I'd like to introduce George on the left and John on the right, and they're going to introduce themselves and explain their roles here at Christchurch.
Okay, well, I'm George, the church architect. I suppose my role here in this particular project comes out of the fact that I do a whole series of what's called quinquennial surveys, which is very dull, but actually is a series of surveys that's done on every single church in the country every 5 years. This one here was done a few years ago, and it picked up various alterations and repairs that needed to be done further into the tower. And then this man picks up the reins from here.
Yeah, hi. I'm John Seeley. I'm the bell ringing tower captain here at Christchurch. So I'm responsible for all the bell ringing. I arrange for people to ring in services, special events, weddings, funerals, etc. Run practice nights on Monday and train new learners.
Okay, so I think we're going to go up the tower now via the stone spiral staircase. So shall I follow you up?
Right, okay, let's go.
Okay, so here we are in the bell ringing chamber, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. And so this is obviously where we ring the bells. We've got 8 bells there, and you can see the 8 ropes, one for each bell, which is where we spend most of our time.
So to get to the next floor, we go back out through the door and up another flight of stone spiral stairs. So this is the door to the bell chamber, and George is going to tell us what the problems are.
Well, I think this one's pretty straightforward, really. You've got the original Victorian door here, but as you can see, it's had quite a hard life, and it gets knocked about here because you get lots of people working their way past, squeezing past the door, and over time it's got knocked about and it's got a bit wet and damp, as you can see. So the intention now is just to repair this with some second-hand timbers as well, just so that the whole thing can come together beautifully. And there's also the sort of remains of the paint that's on here before, so the idea is it'll be painted the same colour with similar paints, breathable paints. So should get a good long life from this particular door. And it's all VOC free.
Thank you very much. So shall we now go into the bell chamber? So what can we see from this side?
So here you can see the paint quite clearly in that greenish colour, which we'd look to replicate, and we'll also be popping just a new, more secure lock on the door as well as part of the refurbishment. So George mentioned some woodwork needed repairing in the floors here. At some point, many years ago, I believe a clock weight was dropped on this bit of floor, and he's cracked it, and sort of the weather's got into it. It's all just got a little bit damp and deteriorated. So we're just looking to replace these few timbers here to reinstate the floor.
Okay, but otherwise this floor is quite sound, is it? And what's above our heads here?
Immediately above our heads, and the bell frame. So we've got a metal bell frame, and as you mentioned below, we've got 8 bells, and you're just coming up there above the 4th bell, which you can clearly see is the clapper on the bell that strikes the side of the bell, and the bell wheel is meant to give it a very gentle rock.
So access gets a bit more challenging here, as the only access up to the clock chamber is via a vertical ladder, which as you can see goes above the bells up to the next floor. So here we're looking down on the top of the bells, and the access up to the clock chamber is via a very steep timber ladder and a hatch at the top that George will open. So what we can see is George going up through the hatch into the clock chamber, and this is a really good illustration of the problems with the floor in the clock chamber, and you can see there holes where the timber has rotted, and you can also see the lack of battens, anything to support the timber where it meets the wall. So there are various issues that George will explain when we get up to the clock chamber. Here we are in the clock chamber, and what can we see here?
Okay, so the first thing you've got here is obviously this chamber is the start of the spire that goes on up, way up there. And over to one side, up here, there's staining down through the stonework. And so there's clear indication that some of the joints and the external stonework of the spire are open and just allowing a little bit of water that's been trickling in over time. And you can see the beam ends here. One of those beams has failed, and that's because of the water ingress. So over time, little problems like that have been damaging other elements in here. And the first thing it damages is coming down onto the floor. And so here is the damage here. So you can see what's going on. Rock there, and there's some more over there, but I'm not going to step over there because I'm not entirely sure it's very, very safe. But these boards are going to be lifted and they're going to be replaced again with second-hand Victorian boarding, so it all matches in. And part of the other thing that's been going on is that we've got a pane of glass missing here, and also on the corresponding window on the other side. They're interesting windows because they're metal framed, but little panes of glass and quarries sat in here. This is quite a pretty window really with its colours. But what's happened, it's allowed water to blow in through here, and again, of course, further rot to the floors. So part of the job is obviously to repair both windows, and what I want to do is paint up the metalwork as well, so that we get rid of any rusting, because it's the rusting that quite often causes the breakages to the glass. So from that as well, what you get is over the years, lots of debris is blown into here, and so you get quite a lot of dust and muck, and basically it's just stuff that's in the air that's blown around outside and brought in. Sometimes the birds bring in the mess, but so far so good here. You don't have too much of a problem with birds. So all in all, it's a good time now to pick all this up and deal with each of these three things. The gaps in the stonework, dealing with the rot in the floor, and then dealing with the holes in the glass, the broken panes of glass. And then from that, after that, we then go on and we deal with the mess that's been accrued over time.
And that will also make it safe for the clock to be repaired and restarted. So our very fine clock faces on the spire will once again be restored to their gold gleaming glory, and the clock will tell the time to the wider town. So when's this work going to take place, George?
Well, it's not long now, which is really good. What's happened is that the contractors have been lined up, so the first people will be the joiners are going to come in, the carpenters are going to come in and repair the floors, and that's going to be in July 23. And then later in the autumn, again 2023, we're going to get the glazing fixed and also the external stonework. So it's all on the move. It's looking good.
Excellent. And they can also use that scaffolding to take down the rusting clock faces on the outside of the spire and take them away to regild them. So we'll be able to complete the whole works to the tower and the spire.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge, huge benefit to the community. It's going to be great. It's going to be good.
So the rest of the works that are happening as part of Discover Christchurch is that there will be new lighting in the nave, energy efficient and adjustable, and the wall paintings, which we'll show you in more detail on another tour, will be cleaned and conserved, and they're a really important part of the listing and the particular character of Christchurch. So please do check back for further updates and tours as our project progresses and Christchurch is restored to its former glory. Thank you.